Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Deez and this is my woodshed. Today is going to be a little different video. I need to do some maintenance on my mower. I bought this thing last year. I'll show you. It's in decent shape, but there's some maintenance that needs to be done on this thing. I've used it 5 or 6 times. It mows okay, but there's several things I want to address. Number one, we just need to do annual maintenance, change the mower, oil, change the filters, things like that. But in addition to that, the mower deck cuts at an angle, so I get a stripe of an uneven cut when I'm cutting my lawn. The other thing is the front wheels have been replaced with some non-standard wheels, and they clunk and they're loose, and driving this thing isn't as smooth as you would think it would be. The rear wheels appear to be original. Those are okay. But I do want to check the tire pressure and things like that. But both wheels, this one needs a spacer, a washer or something. They might actually need bushings too. So maybe we'll use the lathe to make a bushing or something to improve the ride of this. But I need to level the deck. I need to change all the filters. I need to check these front tires, make sure this thing's running a little bit better. Check all the fluids. The oil, that's another issue. There is fuel in the oil. I'm no mechanic or anything. However, I do have this snowblower here. It's a really nice snowblower. But I had fuel. I had really hard time starting that thing, and fuel was getting into the oil on this as well. And what I ended up being was the spark plug. The spark plug must have had a crack, and somehow it was getting through the spark plug into the fuel, you know, by maybe over priming it when I was trying to start this thing. This thing has its automatic choke and things like that. So perhaps the spark plugs are cracked on this thing, causing and allowing fuel to get into the oil. So my plan today is to change the spark plugs as well, and change the oil, change all the filters, and then keep an eye on it and see if fuel gets into the oil at that point as well. I think it's kind of idling high as well. I'm going to attribute that to the fuel in the oil as well. It's not smoking or anything, but I want to get this taken care of before I actually have a problem. Otherwise, it's a pretty good lawn tractor. Well, there we go. Brought it in here. This is where I'm going to work on it. It's first thing I want to do now that the engine's warmed up is change that oil, start draining that. I did get an air filter as well, but I'll show you all that as we get through it. And we'll just get this thing maintained. Hopefully we can get this thing running a lot better and cutting straighter, and the wheels mounted how they actually should be, and things are going to work much better. Let's get this oil starting to drain. I'm pretty sure this is the oil drain. It's right in line with the oil. Again, let's check this again. Make sure it's warm enough to drain out nice. It is. Definitely smells like fuel. That should not be in there. It's right at the full mark as well, but let's just get this stuff drained. I'm hoping I can capture it. It doesn't come shooting out too far here. We're going to find out. I do have this thing called Forma Funnel. Maybe this would be a good use for it. Let me grab that thing. Again, I don't do sponsorships for anybody, or maybe I would if they would offer it, but I bought this. I've seen this used on YouTube for a few people. It's just basically a lead-lined rubber mat that's fine to use for oil and that sort of thing. So this would be good use. Maybe we can prevent a mess by using this thing. As you can see, you can shape it however you need it. You know, maybe we'll get this in here when we're ready so that we don't come shooting out, or I'll just hold it here. But This will be good on the oil filter side as well. But I think this will work out really well. So, all right. I think there's a plastic cap on here that just kind of locks into place. There's a little notch. Somehow it should come out of there. Oh, there we go. I guess that's the cap. And an O-ring. I'm going to look at changing that O-ring as well. I would have thought that that would have been just a cover for a metal nut or something, but don't lose that. Well, that could have been a lot messier. Yeah. There's fuel in there. It's not as bad as I was thinking the other day, but it's got fuel in it. We need to get that cleaned out. It shouldn't have any fuel in it. Clean that up. And we'll just let that drain. I think what I might do is, I need to get the jack out anyway because I want to fix these tires. So I'm going to jack the other side up to get a bit of an angle and just let this thing drain. And then we'll check out the oil once it's done. See if there's anything alarming in there, any metal shavings, anything like that. And we'll go from there. All right, we're going to let that drain. Well, while that oil's draining, let's see what we got to work with on the mower. We got a filter. It is part number AM125424. This is a L series, L100 series lawn tractor, LA115. Hopefully this is the right filter. Let's see. It is 125424C. I don't know what the C means. It's an AM1. It's the same part number, AM125424. The one that's on there says C. Not sure if that matters. Maybe it's a little bigger. As long as the thread's on there and fits, it's good enough for me. It's gonna work. It's the same thing. So there's the oil filter that we got. So if you're curious, again, the John Deere mower is an LA115 L100 series lawn tractor, and it is an AM125424 oil filter. We got a box of some other items. This for another project. I also have a still weed eater, and the head has the button that advances the string has completely worn through. It's so low that I can't actually advance the string. So I just bought a replacement. It was time. I've had that thing for well over 10 years. This is an aftermarket. It'll screw right on there. I don't think there'll be any problems with it. But I thought for the price, I'm just going to replace that thing. But that's a different task. We'll do that today in today's video. We'll set that aside. And this is the rest of what we need for today on the mower. Let's cut this open carefully. We got a new filter. I inspected this last weekend. It's pretty filthy. The foam pre-filter pad, or whatever you call that, that's pretty dirty. It's got some fuel in it. It's not terrible. It's not like soaking or anything, but this needed replaced. This hasn't been replaced in quite a while. We'll get to that. I'll show you the old one. This little kit came with a couple spark plugs. I'm going to get those changed out, and a fuel filter. I actually have some cheaper fuel filters the little red ones that you can buy. I got a whole bunch of those. They may just have like a mesh screen in them. But this kit, I really wanted... It ended up being cheaper to buy these parts individually than buy this kit. Like, that had oil. It was like 50 bucks for all this stuff. I've got oil that I'm going to use. I don't need all that. So this ended up being, I don't know, 20 bucks for all this stuff. So that's the route I went. Anyway, let's get back to the mower and finish draining this oil and get that filter out. I'm going to change this O-ring out. And then we'll see what O-ring will fit in it. Let's take that little, it seems kind of flat, and that plastic knob didn't seem, kind of loose. It wasn't leaking oil or anything, but I just think we need to put a fresh O-ring on there. Okay, so there's a little notch that actually goes inside that tube, but I do think the fresh O-ring is going to help. So let's see what we have. Let's get that one off of there. It's not very big, but we got a little kit. Let's see what. It could be metric, probably is metric, but let's start with SAE. See if we have an O-ring that will fit. Well, let's see, maybe this guy here. It's a little bigger. It's too big. That one's too big. So this will be the next size down. This one might, it's either it or we'll check that. It's thicker though. So this one's not as big, but it is thicker. It would stretch on there. Let's see what we have. It's going to be either this one. Let's see what we have in metric. Same type of kit here. Probably the same area. No, that one's too thick. It might be this one. They are thicker though. But the size of that one, that size is a little bigger. May be tough to get that on, but that might, it's either going to be that one or this one. These are thicker though. That one's too small. I don't know. I think the inside diameter of this one is the same. Let's try this one. And then we'll check that cap and see if we can get that on there. It's not as tight as I want. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's get that one out of there. I don't like that one. And maybe this one's probably going to be too big as well. Actually, that one might work, but it might be too thick to get this cap on. Yeah, that pushed that O-ring, so we can't use that one. I'll skip through this footage. This is not entertaining. Let me find the right O-ring and then I'll bring you back. There we go. I ended up finding a size that was a little smaller. It's tight to get on there, but I don't think that's going to leak. So, we've got that on there. Oil's pretty much drained. And now we can start cleaning up, take the oil filter off, start cleaning that up, and get the oil change portion of this done. We'll give you an overhead view here. This is the filter that's on there now. I'm not sure if I'll need, I don't think I'm going to need this form of funnel. But if you did, you could kind of, you know, set this thing in here, form it however you. Again, I'm not selling this product. It's just kind of an interesting funnel to help guide oil and messes where it needs to be. So I'll just stick this here anyway, since I have it. See if it helps keep some of that oil from going anywhere. Hopefully this is just hand tight. I can get this off of here. I should be able to. Ooh. No, maybe not. Oh, let me see if I have an oil wrench. I do have this little old wrench cap that I think can help get this thing off of here. Just need to get it on there nice and tight. If this little stick doesn't help, I'll have to use a wrench maybe. Yeah, this may not work. It seems to be spinning. Huh. Somebody put that on there too tight. These things are junk anyway. I've used it before and they usually work, but it's not working on this thing. Let me grab some channel locks. This should hopefully help us out. I can get it on there. There we go. Come on. Boy, that's on there tight. Good thing I'm replacing it. It just doesn't need to be that tight. Whoever changed this before. Might be able to get it with my hand now. Let's see. Yeah. Boy, that's on there way too tight. Not necessary. Okay, but we got it. Let's get this off of there. Finish draining the oil. I really don't know when the last time the oil was changed in this mower, but definitely needs to be done. The oil is thin. I think it's because of the fuel that's in this thing. Definitely. Yep. Lots of fuel in that. So this is overdue. Hopefully this makes this thing run better though. It definitely needed the oil change. So we're going to let this drain a little bit. I think I'm going to jack up the other side and try to get as much oil off of the frame and out of this filter housing as I can. I like to give it time, let it drain as much as it can, get that old oil out of there, especially since there was fuel in it. I'm half tempted to dump a little bit in there anyway just to drain it, you know, get any of the other oil out, but I think it'll dilute it up enough that it'll be fine. I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and get this other filter back on. I'm going to use this SAE30 weight. I've had this for a while. It's time to use it. Should be plenty in here. Should be plenty in here. And we just need a little bit of oil from there. I like to, anybody that's watching this, you all know what to do. And I could fill this filter and try to put it on there, but I'll end up spilling it. There's no point. I'm not doing that. I know a lot of people like to try to pre-fill the filters, but again, this is just a small engine. Clean a little bit more of that oil out if I can. Alright, I already put oil on the O-ring for this oil filter. Make sure there's no dirt there. There's a little something. Let's put this back on. just hand tighten this one. Check for leaks later. That's good. And again, I want to put the date on here. There we go. So we got the date on there. Bring it down here. We got the date on there. We've changed that out. Again, there was a lot of fuel in this. I'm now going to go ahead and fill this up. That way I don't forget. And then we'll move on to the filters for the air filter and the fuel filter. The fuel filter's over here. So actually I'll probably just tackle that right now while I'm over here. And then we'll move over to the air filter's up here too, so we'll get both of those done. Might be a little tight for you to get in here and see what I'm doing, but I'm going to try to take this old filter off, spill some oil all over the plate, or gas all over the place. Might need some different pliers for that, but yeah, let me get a different set of pliers. We're going to get this filter put in its place, and I'll have to, you know, put it like in this orientation, because the flow would go through the filter, you know, into, there's your arrow, it shows your direction. Arrow shows a direction of fuel flow. So this is from the source tank, and then this goes up into the pump in the engine. So that'll be the orientation it goes. Let's see if we can get this off of here without too much trouble. Okay. There's one clamp. Here's the other one. Alright. Now, try to be quick about it, but I have a feeling we're just gonna end up with a mess. So I think I'll try to see if I can utilize this forma funnel again down here. Capture as much as I can, get it into our waste oil. I don't know how well that'll go, but that's what we're going to do. I got these nifty hose clamps, pliers. We're going to try these too, see if this will get this off of here. Top one's coming off. That's okay. Maybe I can just use my hand for that. Yeah. There we go. So there's that one. It's really hard for you to see, I know, because of this. Let's clean this up a little bit. Show you what I'm doing. So I got that disconnected there. I'm just going to do this. It's really difficult to record. I can't really mount you anywhere. I don't have anywhere to put you. Let me see if I can find a better place, and then I'll keep going. We'll see if this works. Otherwise, I'm going to try to get this done quick, because I don't want to lose too much fuel. Maybe it'd be best to go ahead and put this one on first. Okay, so that's on, and go ahead and put that clamp down as well. And I said, right there. And then we will get this off. It's going to probably leak, and we'll get that back on there as quick as we can. Just pull that off. There we go. Now, that's not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. Slides right on. It's not super tight, but that's okay. There we go. Pull this clamp back up so it doesn't come off of there. There we go. There's a fuel filter changed. Made a bit of a mess, but we got her done. Take off a little bit. Hopefully we don't have any fuel leaks from that. And that form of funnel did work out. Here's the old filter. Needed changed. I doubt that's been changed in a long time as well. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to move on to the air filter. Air filter is pretty simple. Let me grab that. Okay, it's really an easy mechanism to change for the air filter. You just open this lid up. The air filter just rests right here. As you can see, it's very dirty. I blew it out last weekend, but it's just dirty. And then there is the pre-filter. I think what I'm going to do is kind of set this back in here and give this a bit of air and just get rid of any loose debris like what's up here before we put the new one on. All right, let's clean this out. So yeah, that's the pre-filter, because the air comes in from the underneath, and then this one goes on top, and we put our housing back on. And that's pretty much it. This can go in the trash. Sorry about all the mower noises, but it's that time of year. Next thing we're going to do is move on to the spark plug. I already popped this off. This is the lead. I think there's only one spark plug on this mower. I'll look around and make sure that is the case. What we got here? Oh, we have a piece of something. Maybe we'll have to try to find out where that belongs. Shroud of some sort. Who knows? It's definitely broke off. It's laying down in here. Maybe there was a shroud piece that bolted here and it's gone now. I don't know. Anyway, the spark plugs that I got are just some foreign brand. It was in that kit. They were very cheap. I looked them up. I believe they're the same spark plug. Let's pull the old one out. I still think that spark plug could be fouled, causing a leak in letting fuel pass through. We're going to find out by taking it out. It's just checking to see. I may need an extension. It should come out of there now. A little tight, but probably a little hard for you to see, but let's get that thing out of there. Come on. I checked the gaps on most small engines are 30 thou. That thing is kind of dirty, fouled up. It's not wet or anything, but who knows. Like I said, I'm going from my experience on the previous issue that I had with a small engine. It was that let fuel into the oil was from, I don't know, I changed the spark plug and everything was fine. So Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. We'll gap it at 30 thou. Let's check this one. It's a little over 30. So yeah, we're going to gap the other one to 30. We're going to call that good enough. Let's get that put back in. I'm sure the Champion was a better quality spark plug, but these should be fine. And we'll pop this back on here. There we go. Spark plug changed. I'm going to move on to the wheel now. We got to get something done with this. Let's move on to this wheel. Both the wheels are pretty loose. These are not the original wheels. There is a plastic bushing in here. I don't like how loose that is, but I think if I just get a spacer in here to keep that from moving around so much, it might help out. I do wish that was a little tighter than that, but I'll take this off and we'll see what we're dealing with. Let's see if we can get that off of there. Might. There we go. It will. Maybe. There we go. Let's just get this little clip holding that on. Again, there's a little bit of grease in there, but that's just not right. It needs a big washer or something to help keep that on. This should not be moving around like that. But I do believe these were aftermarket. The previous owner just got fed up and went and bought some wheels and threw them on there. It's probably a little wallered out from the way it's been able to be loose, but for now I'm going to see if I can put a washer or spacer in there and then put that back on so it's not wobbling around. The other side does have a washer or a spacer, but I'm going to review that as well and we'll check that. Let me grab a towel. We'll take this off and get a closer look. Alright, let's take this off of here. Check it out. Yeah, it's just plastic. Well, yeah, it's for plastic, but that's alright. I think this will work. I just need to get interesting. I guess that's just how it is. I think I'll put some grease in here. It is plastic. It's, see, I don't know. Yeah, you can see that wheel. This just sits down in here. I suppose that's how it's supposed to be, which is fine. But I'll clean this up. We'll grease it up. We'll put this back on, but we'll make sure we put a spacer in here. Let me grab some grease. see what options we have for a spacer. Big old washer. I don't know if these are big enough. Almost. Need more than one. I need at least 2 of these. I think I've got some of these wallered out. Let me see what else I got. Well, we're gonna make some spacers. I only have one that will work. I need to make something that's gonna be 800 thou in diameter. This one's 800 thou. I've got these other washers that are 700 thou. So we just need to take 100 thou out of a 50 thou pass, which will give me 100 thou. And we're going to start with 2 of these because there's already one on there. I've got this washer here I can use. And I need to use a boring bar. Let me grab that. Let me get set up and we'll mount this thing up, and we're just going to make our own spacers out of these washers here. This is going to be not precision. I just need to bring these out. So just bore out the middle. I could use a drill, like a step drill, but I think I'm just going to use this. I'm going to put both of them in here and do them both at the same time. Just flush them, mount them up flush with the back of the chuck, and we're just going to bring that out to, there we go. We're just going to bring those out to 800 thou to match this one. Put my glasses on. All right, let's bore those out. And again, I only need to go 50 thou because 50 times 2 is 100, and we'll see what happens. Do a quick check and see where we are. It's about 50 thou. $750 thou. So another 50 thou to come off. Pretty close. There we go. It's where we want to be. 805 thou. That's good enough. Turn that off. Let's get this out of here, and we'll use these spacers and see if we can get these tires mounted up. Okay, we got our spacers made. I don't know if I'll need 2 or not, but I'm going to use this old washer here and one of the spacers that I made. I think that will be, it might be too much. We're going to find out. And then you clip this in here. Let me grab some pliers. I think this will work. I do kind of want that tight so it's not moving around. Let's see if we can get that on there. There we go. Almost. Get in there. So that's clipped on there now. That tire is much better than it was. It's a little loose, but not bad. I'll do the other one off camera. I think it already has one washer, but I'm going to go ahead and put a second one on there to make sure that it's got a better spacing. And then we'll move on to leveling the deck. Just need to start it up, check the oil, make sure it's got plenty in there, make sure there's nothing leaking, and then give her a test. The last thing I need to do is level the mower deck, but I think the problem is it's got a bolt or something in it. So I'm going to pull it out in the yard and mess with that. But for now, I want to get started, check the oil levels, and make sure all the filters and everything are working like they should. What it says to do is measure, set the deck where you want it to be, and then measure up from the ground and see how high the deck is on each side. You're supposed to orient the blades perpendicular to the machine and measure up as well. And then there's some adjustment screws there as well. I know for a fact this thing is cutting at an angle and it favors that side lower, the chute side. So we definitely need to make some changes and adjust this. So let me get set up, and I've never done this before, so I'll see really what's involved, and then I'll show it to you when I figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, pretty sure we got this thing leveled now. So the instructions say to put the deck where you want it to be and then measure from the ground up, all that kind of stuff. I did that, but I know from usage that this side cuts lower than the other side. So I was looking, and the instructions say there's some bolts to tighten up. I was looking down here, and you can see that rod right there. So that one wasn't even a 1/2 inch. The other side was 3/4 inch. With that being lower down, that would explain why this was probably cutting lower. So I ended up tightening this one up so that it had about 3/4 thread showing on the bottom, matched it with the other side, and we're just going to test it. We're going to go with that. So that completes all of the maintenance on this thing that I wanted to do. Now I just need to kind of clean it up and do some test mowing. So that'll be the next steps. Check the fluid again and see how she mows. Well, there it is. There's the mower done. I went ahead and mowed the yard. The adjustments on the deck really worked out. I think I could probably move the adjustment on this side up another 1/2 inch or so, but overall it made a huge improvement in the grass, keeping the lines so it's not you know, there's no striping from where it's cutting. So it's looking a lot better. See if you can see that a little bit out there. It's doing a lot better. Much happier with that. We should probably check the oil. It was spot on last time I checked it. We just got finished. I may wait until it cools down a little. Let's see what it looks like right now. It's going to be hot because I just finished mowing, but let's see if we can get a reading. It's right at the add, so it's not empty, but I could probably put a little bit more in there. I think I will. Probably should just put all this in there anyway. I just didn't want to overfill it. I believe that'll do. That completes my mower and string trimmer maintenance for the year. It's hot. It's getting hot today. I did finish mowing. We got all that done. Again, this is a little different video. This is more of a string, you know, spring and summer lawn maintenance. I'm getting ready to put some fertilizer down on the ground. Otherwise, I'm about done for the day. That completes string trimmer maintenance. We'll throw this old one away. Maybe keep a spring out of it. And the mower, she's ready to go. I'll just check the oil one more time and we'll call it done. I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you on the next one. I know this is a little bit different of a video, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. This stuff needs to get done before I can really get in there and work on projects that aren't helpful to the home. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next one.